Sorry. Hi, and welcome to Captain Video Presents, a video series, obviously, on the internet of me doing stuff. And today we are deboxing, aka removing from the box, or unboxing in the modern parlance, the Weiser Touch fingerprint smart lock. And take a look at what we have, and then hopefully we can have a very quick and easy installation. When we moved, we left our Kevo lock behind. Kevo was a touch lock as well, but it was very finicky and didn't always work. Even if I had my phone, the key fobs were very iffy, and we stopped completely using them. But what I like about the Halo Touch with the fingerprint is that it will work whether you have your phone or not. But even if you don't have your phone out, even if you don't have Wi-Fi, even if you don't have Bluetooth connected, using your fingerprint will unlock it every time. Or so they say. We're going to find out, and let's see what's in the box. There's the box. And within this box, I never open these correctly the first time. Upside down. So there's the lock itself. Should pop right out. Probably has some wires and things. We have our instructions in languages I do not understand. Oh, flip it over and we have translation into English. Start with number 1. Package number 1 contains the Deadbolts. They give you 2, and they did that with the Kevo as well, and a little bit of hardware there for attaching it. So depending on your lock and your needs, you can choose which of those. Number 2. And there we have our strike plate, where the deadbolt goes through, hardware for that as well. Again, similar to my Kevo. Number 3. Okay, that is the internal hardware that goes inside the front door, and the keys. So far, it's looking very much like the Kevo. We're at box number 4. Interesting, box number 4 doesn't weigh a lot. What do you get in box number 4? The wee teeniest little screws. Okay, box number 4. Box number 5, if I'm counting correctly. And box number 5 has, batteries included. That's very important. That's the smart key changer. And we got 4. It's going to run on 4 AA batteries, and there's more goodies in there that we'll get to. And it's not labeled box number 5, but it is the internal hardware. And again, this looks very much like the Kevo as well. The only difference really is the Kevo Touch had to have a fob and or a Bluetooth connection to your phone. It also required a Kevo base station to unlock remotely. This has Wi-Fi built in according to the box. Not everything. So the main things that you will see, of course, this will be outside. This is what is inside. It's a little bit big, but it's not obtrusive and doesn't look bad inside of the front door. So we have the parts list and the tools list, which is literally a screwdriver. And I have laid out all the parts that we need in order of their box number, and they even give you drilling instructions if it's a brand new door. This is not a brand new door, so we can chuck those. There is a part missing. Hang on. So let's go to our instruction booklet, and of course we've done parts in box. Step 1, installation. Remove your existing deadbolt. Well, that should be easy. So there's the deadbolt, and you have 2 screws, and they will come out pretty easily because that's a nice lock. I've had locks that do not play well with screwdrivers. According to my Apple Watch, using a screwdriver is akin to hand washing. Pop the lock out. Screwdriver's eye view. There we go. Perfect. Well, I've run into a bit of a spot of bother. The lock mechanism has a circumference that is equal to a proper door hole, whereas this hole is slightly smaller. So I'm going to have to drill out the excess, which I've never drilled a hole above a hole before, so it's going to be interesting. But let's try it. Kind of have no other choice, so we're going to do this. So the tools to increase the diameter of the door for the new lock. We have our door drill guide, which is going to help, and we have our drill, and we have some WD-40 for some lubricant. And the one thing I learned for doing this particular chore is that, first of all, go slow because it's a metal door and you have to get through the metal on either side. Use the torque at a low speed as if you were putting in screws instead of the drill setting. So I'm going to use that, and let's put it on the door and take our chances, see what happens. It'll either work or I have to get a new door. So slide this on, line it up with the deadbolt hole, and also center it for the new mechanism. Now, it's set at 2 3/8. If I push it right in, it's a little off center. So I'm gonna get it as close to center as I can. And I'm gonna clamp it in place so it doesn't move while I'm doing the drilling. One at the bottom. One thing I've learned is you can never have too many clamps. I switched bits because I think the one I was using was not quite sharp enough, so I found another one. It takes a while, that is for sure. That was a big bothersome problem that I hope you don't run into when you're installing your smart lock, but if you do, I've given you a little bit of a guide on how to drill through your metal door from both sides. Do not forget these. There's a lot of sharp burrs, and sometimes there's cats, and you have to keep them safe too. So we can now see if we can get the lock installed. Let's do it. Just goes in like that, and I believe it is also says Weiser upside right too. And to start with, you leave the deadbolt off, and we'll just screw that in place. So it does come with long and short screws. I'm going to use the long ones because this is a older door, and if you have a brand new door, you can probably get away with the short screws, but I want to be extra certain it's in well. Okay, step 1. Step 2 is the installation of the strike plate, but as it turns out, there already is one there. There are 2 very long screws that go on that end and 2 of the shorter screws on that end. I'm not going to replace this, but it's a pretty simple. As I predicted, if you've already done the strike plate, then you put the key lock on the outside. That's the part with the fingerprint sensor as well. Now there's a little wire, and they recommend that the wire goes underneath. So let's do that. You may have to adjust your mechanism. There you go. And if I drilled my hole correctly, this will go right on. There we go. Now this is the metal inner plate, screw lined up. There we go. And this does very much stress, do not use your electric drill. Just hand tighten these. Route the cable through the center of the hole, then push into the bottom hole. We've done that. Insert the key and test the latch. If the latch does not extend or retreat smoothly, adjust the screws. Big moment here. Key in the lock. So there's our lock. There's our mechanism that comes out. Match up the arrows like that and ensure a tight fit. Lay this flat. I would swear that there are no engineers involved in this part. And that is up. So that goes in there. This goes under here. There's two little screws. Okay, batteries. So there's 4 batteries, 2, 3, and put the batteries in. Do not insert the batteries until the lock has been installed on the door. Okay, with the door open, insert the battery pack to initiate auto handling. That way, big warning. Successful, green. Proceed to the next step. Very good. So far this has been pretty straightforward, other than the fact that the door didn't have a big enough hole. Okay, that's the cover. We have 3 screws, and they go 1 in either side and 1 in the bottom. When I had my Kevo, I did not use the bottom screw because, and this is one of the complaints about the lock, is that every time you have to change the batteries, you have to undo all these screws. Although I never saw it as a big burden to take out these screws to change the battery, I did find the bottom one was kind of tricky with the doorknob underneath. As I said, one of the complaints about the previous one was having to unscrew these screws to replace the battery pack. Effort. You just pop that out, and you've changed your battery pack without having to undo any screws. So that is a new and better feature. And with the door locked, it fits perfectly. So on to the next step, programming the app and the fingerprint. Just take your camera and you can quickly get to the App Store and download the app. And if you've already downloaded it, which I have, there you are. This home does not contain any locks yet. I have a Weiser account from my Kevo. Got my new address set in there and connected to the internet. Bluetooth is on. Stay within Bluetooth range. Remove the black window or interior cover. That comes off. Just follow instructions. Next it says, press and hold button A for 3 seconds. Release button A when the lock beeps and the LED flashes. So that 1, 2, 3, and the LED flashes. There we go. And I will accept that that's the lock. Did your lock light up and make a sound? Then it will ask you to pair the Bluetooth. Okay, after the Bluetooth connected, it asked me to update the firmware, which we are doing. Okay, we have a full green line. Firmware successfully updated. Bonus. What would you like to call your lock? Let's call it Toby. Okay, so we have to have home Wi-Fi, which we do. Now it's searching for the Wi-Fi. I shall enter the password for the internet on my phone. Okay, phone is now connecting to the Wi-Fi network, contacting remote server, and finalizing lock activation. This process seems to be pretty easy. Only thing I would criticize is the different steps where it says continue or next. They're faded, not highlighted. Usually when you're looking for the next step, that's a highlighted thing on the app, but that's just being picky. Or lock activated to your account. Okay, so almost done. Your lock has been added. All right, here's where the fun begins for me, which is setting our fingerprints. You start with the Weiser App, and you're going to select people, and you can have 50 people, 2 fingerprints each, which is 100 fingerprints. So if you've done, say, one person with just the thumbs, then you can add a finger and have multiple fingerprints for every member of the house. So we're going to select add, name the user. So I'm going to name it Robert 2. Hit submit. And now you get a nice little graphic of, kind of like an iPhone, how to add your fingerprint. So for that, we'll go outside. The lock is now flashing green, which means we can do our fingerprint. I'm going to do my index finger. So you hold it, and as you add more fingerprint, it goes green, 100%. Scan another finger. I've unlocked the door with it. For locking the door, even if it's a finger that you have not entered in, you can lock your door with any finger on your list, but you can only unlock your door with the one finger that you have added. So whatever fingers you want to use, thumbs, I think these are the best fingers to use. Some people might, for certain reasons, want to use other ones. That goes back on, and let's test it out. Lock it. So there you have it. The Kevo Touch is as advertised, and if you don't want to have to use an app, you don't want to have to use keys, it's a really good lock. Just your thumb or your finger is all you need. And it also works with Alexa, so that's Alexa in the background. I can set it up to say, hey Alexa, ask Kevo to unlock the door, or ask Kevo if the door is locked, and it'll work. It's not HomeKit compatible, but even though I'm a big HomeKit guy, I did not see the need for HomeKit for unlocking a lock that uses my fingerprint. Anyway, thanks for visiting on Captain Video Presents. And we're going to present something else next time. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you come back. And I hope you see me again sometime.